Hello guys, happy to see you again. A couple weeks ago I posted my review of the Glacier Blue edition of the STRIX G15 gaming laptop from ROG, and I promised to make a follow-up video with another version if there was enough interest from you guys. It turned out quite many of you wanted to see this other version. So today we are going to unbox the ROG STRIX G15 Electropunk edition. What you're going to see in this review, except what's in the box, is the main differences between this version and the Glacier Blue edition in terms of design, aesthetics, and performance. I will also run it through a couple of benchmarks, so you will see the results in this video. The configuration I have with the Electropunk edition has the RTX 2070 graphics card paired with a 10th gen Intel i7-10750H processor and 32 gigs of RAM. Since these two laptops are from the same brand, and they share the same chassis, it will be very interesting to see how much difference is there between an RTX 2060 graphics card versus the RTX 2070 card. It won't be exactly an apples-to-apples comparison, as the Glacier Blue I previously reviewed had an i7-10875H paired with RTX 2060. The i7-10875H is an 8-core CPU, so it is better than the 6-core i7-10750H we have today. But I think this will make the comparison even more interesting, as we'll find out what is better, a stronger CPU paired with a weaker GPU, or a relatively speaking weaker CPU together with a stronger GPU. Let's find out together. But first, let's open the box and see what's inside. The box of the Electropunk edition is bigger than the standard G15s, and it is because it comes with an extra accessories inside the retail box. On the side, we got some power cables. These are standard cables wrapped in a plastic bag. And here's the 230 watt power adapter that charges your computer. This adapter weighs 770 grams or 1.7 pounds. Our main star of the show is of course the STRIX G15 Electropunk edition. This is a very beautifully designed computer, and most of the ports are on the backside just like the Glacier Blue edition. On the right side there are no additional ports. On the front side there is only the RGB light bar. And of course the main logo has to be pink as well. In the bottom we have the extra accessory which turned out to be a very big mousepad in matching colors. And here you can see it says Republic of Gamers. Then there's nothing else in the box. Right away we can notice some cosmetical differences compared to the Glacier Blue edition and also the standard black edition. There are some purple ROG characters on the palm rest. They are only visible in well-lit areas, so in a dark environment this actually looks almost black. The WASD keys are pink instead of transparent white on the Glacier Blue G15. The letters itself are translucent, so you can actually see the backlight shining through. There are some more pink details going around the trackpad as well as around the display frame. I actually prefer this design. Amongst the three colors that the STRIX G15 has to offer, this is my favorite one. Not to mention that you get a free mousepad and in matching colors. If you purchase the standard color or the Glacier Blue edition, you won't get this mousepad. Let me know in the comments which color is your favorite. Since I covered the G15 in details in my other video, I won't go through it again here. All three colors share the same number of ports, possible display configuration, and build quality are the same. If you want to learn more in depth about the G15, I'll leave links to my original review in the video descriptions below. I will also put links to where you can find the Electropunk edition online. So let's jump straight into performance. Let's take a look at synthetic benchmark first, before we check out some real-world gaming results, just to see how much difference there is between the two CPUs and the graphic cards. The specifications on the Glacier Blue edition has the 8-core i7-10875H, 32GB of RAM, 1TB of SSD, and RTX 2060 graphics card. For the Electropunk edition, I've got a 6-core i7-10750H, 32GB of RAM, a terabyte of storage, and an RTX 2070 from NVIDIA. In Cinebench R15, I'm getting a CPU score of 1733 for the Glacier Blue with the 8-core i7. And OpenGL, which measures graphics, scored 120 FPS. The Electropunk edition with the 6-core i7 scored 1389 for the CPU, and OpenGL received 146 FPS. In the newer Cinebench R20, I tested the CPU multi-core performance and got 3887 points for the Glacier Blue G15, while its Electropunk cousin got 3353 points. That's a 16% gain you are getting for those 2 extra cores. Here are the results in Unigine Heaven with Ultra presets running at 1080p. The overall score was 2167 points and 86 FPS for the Glacier Blue. Electropunk scored 2632 points and 104 FPS. So in terms of synthetic benchmarks, the Electropunk is ahead of the Glacier Blue configuration with roughly 21%. Moving on to gaming. For the record, I'm using the highest graphical settings in each game running at 1080p, just to see what the hardware is capable of. Here are the results. In Hitman 2, the Glacier Blue edition with the RTX 2060 card stayed between 80 to 110 frames per second. For the Electropunk edition with RTX 2070, I'm getting between 90 to 120 FPS for the majority part of the game. In Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, the Glacier Blue is capable of reaching between 70 to 80 frames per second. The Electropunk, not surprisingly, surpasses that, reaching a comfortable 90 to 100 FPS. This game is very smooth and enjoyable to play with these kind of hardware specs. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, everything turned to ultra settings. The game's built-in benchmark scored 84 frames per second in average for the Glacier Blue, and 95 FPS for the Electropunk edition with the 2070 card. This translates into an average 13% gain over the 2060 card. I have a viewer who requested to see some benchmarks in Fortnite. So here's how the laptops stack up against each other in Fortnite. Fortnite is not a very taxing game. In low and medium settings, both machines can very easily push beyond 200 frames per second in this game. In high settings, RTX 2070 can get over 180 frames per second, coming ahead of the RTX 2060, which stayed around 150 FPS. And in epic settings, the RTX 2070 can score up to 25% higher than the RTX 2060. This game varies quite a lot in FPS depending on what's being drawn on the screen, but generally you can expect improvements between 13 to 25% depending on what game it is. Some games like Shadow of the Tomb Raider only saw a gain of 13%, while FPS games like Fortnite saw bigger improvements up to 25%. In my render test, where I exported a 10-minute 51-second video in Premiere Pro to 1080p H.264 format, unsurprisingly, the Electropunk G15 came up on top with the RTX 2070 card. Glacier Blue rendered this video in 4 minutes 45 seconds, and Electropunk did it in just 3 minutes 42 seconds. That is 22% faster than the Glacier Blue edition, and the fastest system I've tested so far on the channel. This shows how important the graphics card is when it comes to choosing a system that suits your needs. While a fast CPU will help you in certain applications, such as multitasking and streaming, doing certain simulations or complex calculations in apps like Photoshop, a more capable graphics card will yield faster render times when doing video editing, as well as give you more FPS in most games. And now to my recommendations. Honestly, I think the RTX 2060 is a great card for gaming and would satisfy the vast majority of people out there. But if you do a lot of creative work, like for example video editing, and time is important for you, then I do think a faster graphics card and the extra 2GB of VRAM does make sense and will help you speed up your workflow. In the end, it's really up to you to consider what fits your budget and need, and how much that extra time saving is worth to you. That's it guys, that was all the tests I had for now. Thank you for staying with me so long, and I hope you enjoyed the video and find the content useful. It took me quite many days to do all the testing and actually compiling all the results into a single video. If you feel like you learned something from this video, then a like would be massively appreciated. If we can hit even 100 likes for this video, I will be absolutely stoked. Comment to let me know what type of games you would like to see in my videos. and subscribe to the channel. Turn the bell notifications on so you won't miss out any of my future videos. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.